इस्लामाबाद स्थित भारतीय दूतावास में कार्यरत 8 भारतीय अधिकारी अभी स्वदेश नहीं बुलाए गए हैं, लेकिन सुरक्षा के मद्देनजर उनकी वापसी तय है। भारत ने कहा है कि जिस तरीके से 8 भारतीय अधिकारियों के नाम और फोटो पब्लिश किए गए, सरकार इसका कड़ा विरोध करती है। ये राजनयिक चलन के खिलाफ है। इन अधिकारियों में 4 डिप्लोमेटिक पासपोर्ट होल्डर हैं। विदेश मंत्रालय के प्रवक्ता ने कहा कि इस्लामाबाद स्थित भारतीय उच्चायोग के कुछ अधिकारियों पर पाकिस्तान की ओर से लगाए गए आधारहीन आरोप हम खारिज करते हैं। यह खास तौर से अफसोसजनक है कि पाकिस्तानी अधिकारियों ने पाक के 6 अधिकारियों को अपनी पहल पर वापस बुलाने का फैसला लेने के बाद ये आरोप लगाए।
Well, let me first of all say that we completely reject the baseless and unsubstantiated allegations made by Pakistan against certain officials of the Indian High Commission in Islamabad. The government categorically denies those allegations. It is especially regrettable that Pakistani authorities have chosen to level these allegations after deciding to recall on their own 6 officials of the Pakistan High Commission, some of whom may have been named to Indian authorities by Mahmood Akhtar, the Pakistan High Commission official caught red-handed last week while indulging in anti-India activities. The allegations against the Indian officials represent an afterthought and a crude attempt to target these officials for no fault of theirs. We also regret the fact that Pakistan's step adds to the risks to peace and security in the region emanating from Pakistan's support to cross-border terrorism against its neighbors, its complete denial of the problem and deflection of its responsibility by resorting to fanciful accusations. We also note that the Indian officials falsely implicated were working in the fields of promoting people-to-people and trade and economic contacts between the two countries. Pakistan's false allegations against them have the potential to adversely affect the corresponding activities of the High Commission. The government also protests strongly the manner in which names and photos of the 8 Indian officials, 4 of them holders of diplomatic passports, have been published. This is against basic norms of diplomatic practice and courtesy. Moreover, the allegations against the Indian officials are prejudicial to their safety and security. We expect the government of Pakistan to take all necessary steps to ensure the security and safety not only of these 8 diplomats and officials, but of all the other members of the High Commission and their families while they are in Pakistan. Aditya?
Because again, a question on Pakistan's cross-border terror. In the infiltration, there's been continuous LOC firing, and in a single day, there were at least 7 to 8 civilians who were killed, among them 2 very young kids as well. There were several others who were injured as well. What is India's response being so far on this? And apart from that, on the investigation of Mahmood Akhtar, have there been any crucial link of the ISI revealed so far? You mentioned about the names. Would you kindly elaborate on what names you are talking about and what was their role? Was there some kind of an ISI station being established inside Pakistan High Commission?
Well, as far as the second part of your question is concerned, Mr. Mahmood Akhtar had revealed to us rather sensitive information about the kind of anti-India activities that were going on in this country with the connivance of officials of the Pakistan High Commission. And our security agencies are currently seized of the matter. And we will, of course, get to the bottom of it. As far as the first part of your question is concerned, well, as we have been saying time and time again, that the root cause of problems between India and Pakistan is Pakistan's continued support to cross-border terrorism and its promotion as an element of state policy. And it is important for Pakistan to desist from those policies which are failed policies, which have led to its diplomatic isolation, as we have all seen. And unless and until that happens, I'm afraid, relationship between the two countries will continue to remain like this. Seema.
Hello. You were talking about diplomatic isolation, but how, where? We don't see it.
How, where? I mean,
What is the? Can you give us some examples? Where?
Are you not aware of the letters that were written by all members of
letters
SAARC?
are okay, but it's not that. Letters and all are okay, but what I'm saying is that there are no sanctions, or it's not that other countries are not dealing with Pakistan. If this is what we are looking for.
Well, as far as we are concerned, the international community has spoken unequivocally on the issue of cross-border terrorism. And there are various statements, many of them are available on the website, many are available on my Twitter feed, where the countries have unequivocally condemned cross-border terrorism. The Bhutan Prime Minister, in fact, said that the worst form of terrorism is cross-border terrorism. So if this is not a signal to the country that we are discussing, then what is it? Venkat.
Because the SAARC summit has been postponed indefinitely, where do we go from here? The normal practice is that the host country, if it expresses its inability to host the summit, the next country in the queue gets an opportunity to host that. Given the kind of headlines that have been dominating television and newspapers, it looks extremely unlikely that things will get any better between India and Pakistan, which will obviously mean that Pakistan will not be in a position to host a SAARC summit for a long, long time. So has there been any discussion on what next? Thanks.
Well, that is a question really you should put to Pakistan, because they are the ones who were supposed to host the summit in Islamabad, and they have now postponed it. You also know the reason why the summit was postponed. The letters that were written by virtually every SAARC country to the chair, and the letter and the statement that was issued by the SAARC chair, Nepal itself, in which it was clearly said that in the current atmosphere in which one country is undermining peace and security by resorting to cross-border terrorism, by interference in the internal affairs of other countries, it is not conducive for countries to assemble for the heads to assemble in Islamabad to participate in the SAARC summit. So it is incumbent, I think, on Pakistan to create the necessary conducive atmosphere in which meaningful discussion on regional prosperity, regional cooperation, regional connectivity can take place within the SAARC framework. Ashish at the back.
सर, एक दिन पहले ISPR ने कुछ तस्वीरें रिलीज करके ये आरोप लगाया भारत पे कि इंडियन फायरिंग में उनके कई सिविलियन नागरिक घायल हुए हैं. इस पर हमारे क्या कहना है?
देखिए, उसका तो मैं पूर्ण तरह से खंडन करूंगा. As you are aware, our security forces neither initiate a ceasefire violation nor do they target civilians. They retaliate in a very calibrated and restrained manner when either their defensive posts or personnel are targeted or cover fire is provided by the Pakistani army to allow infiltrators to cross the line of control.
गौरतलब है कि नई दिल्ली स्थित पाकिस्तानी दूतावास में कार्यरत महमूद अख्तर भारत विरोधी गतिविधियों में पकड़ा गया था. महमूद अख्तर ने पुलिस पूछताछ में बताया था कि पाकिस्तान दूतावास के करीब 16 स्टाफ जासूसी में लिप्त है, जिसके बाद पाकिस्तान ने अपने 6 अधिकारियों को वापस बुला लिया था. NMF न्यूज की रिपोर्ट.